America. Land of the free, home of the indebted. You know, a beautiful thing about this country is that you can drunk order a burrito at 3 a.m. for 4 installments of $19.99. As an American, it is your God-given right to suffocate under a mountain of debt before you can even open a credit card. Thanks to buy now, pay later companies like Klarna, Affirm, and Afterpay. Services like Klarna rose to popularity because they allow users without a history of credit and responsible borrowing to break up purchases into 4 interest-free installments, which many claim is better than credit cards, but I'll let you take a wild guess at what happened to Klarna.
Not Klarna going broke because y'all won't pay them back. Loan company Klarna is reporting that they are suffering major losses due to customers not repaying back their loans.
The company now holds $136 million of unpaid debt thanks to their user base ghosting them on installment payments. Now, not to worry, Klarna heads, the company has not gone bankrupt, and soon credit scores will start catching up to the ghosters. While consumer sentiment is at an all-time low, you wouldn't know that based on our spending habits. There's a mismatch here. And today, we'll explore how buy now, pay later companies factor into American consumerism and whether or not they present an imminent threat to our financial futures. Welcome to Undoctrinations, friends and newcomers. My name is Maggie, and I talk about the intersections of culture and economics. I have a question for you. How much of your spending habits are influenced by what you see online? I will be the first to admit that I have been influenced to buy things. If you're our brave second soldier, sound off in the comments. Last year, my algorithm started feeding me posts from a group called Fragrantica Warriors, and suddenly, I found myself in a Sephora sniffing all sorts of fumes to see if I was a gourmand girly or floral princess. I like fig, by the way, and it took an embarrassing amount of money to discover this, but never in my life had I purchased a perfume before this. Suspish. And that's just one example. The matcha latte mob got to me too, and don't get me started on fashion and skincare. But at what point is all of this pampering and indulging ourselves destructive?
Using Klarna to pay for your fashion overhaul isn't self-care. It's self-sabotage. Listen, I get it. Those outfits looked real good on the website, and those foreign payments make you feel like the low expense makes the fit worthwhile. But let me remind you, breaking it up into payments doesn't make it cheaper. It just makes you feel like you're not spending as much.
Klarna and buy now, pay later, which I will occasionally call BNPL, are fueling our shopping addictions. The installment plan is a psychological manipulation. You click on an item you think you can't afford right now, but then there's an option to pay only $25 up front and the same rate over the next few weeks. Sounds kind of wonderful, right? In this psychological game, you can feel that a purchase costs less than it actually does because you're deferring payment. Now, this isn't to say that Klarna is tricking you, but that your brain is fooling itself. BNPL is life-saving for necessary emergency purchases that someone can't pay for immediately. But rather than using it for these outliers, a survey by LendingTree found it's mostly used to purchase clothing, shoes, and accessories. Come on, y'all.
Don't fall into the buy now, pay later trap. It's a short-term convenience with a long-term cost. You want the real better for you option? Buy now, pay now.
Do you see how this connects to the influencing game? Online shopping has suddenly become way too easy, and for people with responsibility issues, it's become life-ruining. Many argue that buy now, pay later loans are better than credit cards. People without credit history or bad credit are able to use it, and the 0% interest rate is certainly a draw. That is, until you miss a payment. And people without responsible credit histories tend to be unreliable borrowers, to say the least.
Now, I understand it's a 0% interest rate, but what happens here is that if you miss the date where that 0% interest rate ends, you could be facing up to 30% interest rates in buy now, pay later programs.
Missing payments is unfortunately very common. About 41% of borrowers have done so, according to LendingTree. And those borrowers tend to have multiple items they're paying off at the same time. Roughly a quarter have 3 or more all at once. So let's say you want to see a concert overseas, a luxury experience. Without installment plans, it may be out of budget for you, but you buy a plane ticket on an installment plan with PayPal, a vacation wardrobe with Klarna, and the actual ticket to the concert with Affirm. You have an amazing time, enjoy your European summer, and then you get back home. Your dopamine is crashing, you're having post-concert depression, and you check your 3 apps to find that you will now be paying thousands of dollars over the next few weeks or months for an experience that you already had.
Oh no! Oh no! Grab the children! Save the children!
When that Affirm, Klarna, and PayPal installment hit at the same time, good luck to you, my friend. If you've overestimated your spending capacity, you're in deep trouble. These buy now, pay later loans can often send you into a worse financial situation than you were in when you decided to use them. Eventually, they can get sent to collections where they will end up on your credit history.
Credit cards and buy now, pay later plans, they allow you to spend freely, but with a huge catch. You are gonna get spanked if you can't pay these loans back.
And while most buy now, pay later borrowers haven't had to worry about their payments being reported to credit bureaus, FICO just announced that they will soon be factored into a new type of credit score. And the internet has taken this to mean that the end times are upon us. So, depending on how responsible you are, these loans could either help your financial future or destroy it. Imagine not being able to secure a home or car loan because you bought too much soggy takeout using Klarna for DoorDash. Unfortunately, the installment plans on burritos meme is not just comedy. 16% of BNPL borrowers say they've used a payment plan on food delivery.
You guys are going into debt for a $20 food order. You know that, right?
Sorry, I wasn't listening. I'm ordering Chipotle. It's only $2 up front. Does anyone want in?
Yeah, add me on that.
Guys.
Oh, so it's saying I owe $30K and miss my payments. Now I have late fees and they might send me to debt collections?
Yeah, I got that too.
But perhaps more concerning than using these plans on frivolous and unnecessary takeout is using them for basic necessities. Nearly a quarter of users have paid for a trip to the grocery store using buy now, pay later loans, up from 14% last year. This could be indicative of a serious cost of living crisis. It's no secret that inflation has caused a rise in consumer prices everywhere, but the grocery store has been the hardest hit. For a family struggling to make ends meet one month, the ease of a buy now, pay later loan could be life-saving. But again, I shudder to think about the kind of debt you could get into using these plans over and over again. And because of the psychological reframing of the prices once you can pay in installments, some people may be less discerning about what they can truly afford, which is why you should buy now and pay now whenever possible. Because if you're not careful, you could be buying now and paying forever.
If I ask somebody, hey, show me all your buy now, pay later accounts, I bet you they would be embarrassed.
Yeah.
I bet you they'd feel ashamed because they know this is not a good way to spend money. This is
That's
not,
right.
I'm not being a good manager of my money to do this. And people wonder why they're in debt. They wonder why they're broke. They wonder why they're going paycheck to paycheck. This is it.
Debt culture is American culture. We convince people to take on debt the minute they reach adulthood to fund their higher education. We finance our cars rather than paying for them outright. And most Americans will spend decades making mortgage payments on their homes. This means nothing we own is truly ours because it can be repossessed the minute we fall in hard times. And I think this creates a lot of anxiety and uncertainty for the future. Gen Z has been trained by this debt culture to accept debt as a natural and necessary part of life. To have no credit history is to not even be human in the United States. Even our dollar is backed by debt rather than something of legitimate value. And the ease and access of credit has given way to consumerism, quick thrills, and dopamine hits. We have begun to value our things less, care less about quality and repair. We don't mend, we toss. We don't save, we make payments to the loaners who own our working hours. It's a kind of financial slavery where you never truly own what you have, nor do you reap the benefits of your own work. But ultimately, it's a contract entered into willingly. Klarna, Affirm, and Afterpay, are not the devil's here, and calls to regulate them will not solve the problem. The devil is our unchecked impulse to place weight on current desires over future gains. It's an impulse I'm sure everyone watching this video, and myself included, shares, so it's not something to feel alienated or ashamed by. But it is the responsibility of grown adults living in a time of abundance to practice self-control and self-denial. The new status symbol is not having a makeup counter that rivals Sephora. It's being intentional with your purchases. I hope you found something useful in this video. If you'd like for me to cover more topics like this, especially around consumerism and overconsumption as a hobby, please let me know. I have so much more to say. And as an aside, if you feel overwhelmed by debt, you are not alone, and there are a lot of people in the exact same position as you. Shame does not fix the problem. Bringing the problem into the light and getting help for it does. You've got this, and you can build a brighter future for yourself. I will see you all next week. Ciao.